Hola, soy la doctora Virginia León, founder and teacher at Lingo Academy. When I came to the U.S. more than 20 years ago, the first thing I did was to enroll at a public school to learn English as a second language. I wanted to learn fast, but the learning method and the environment I was being taught at were not going to get me to learn this new language quickly. So I could be part of the community, make new friends, and get a good paying job. At the school, there were almost 30 students in the same classroom I was, and none of them spoke my native language, which is Spanish, nor the teacher. I felt alone and hopeless and confused, even more than when I entered the classroom. I remember saying to myself and my family that my journey was going to be a very long one and that I was going to learn fast. Not maybe 2 or 3 years, and that was not what I was wanting to happen. Getting a better job was my goal and my priority, but because of the language barrier, I had to work as a housekeeper in hotels, at factories with long hours and really odd shifts, working as a construction worker, as a dishwasher in restaurants, waiting tables, and many other jobs that were not in my trade line of work. And please don't get me wrong, all jobs dignify men, all of them. The worst was earning the bare minimum wage that 20 years ago was about $6.25 an hour. Not being able to speak English was very frustrating. I was very tired of working long hours without vacation time to enjoy my family. And soon I realized that I had to do something different. I feel that the definition of insanity is to do something over and over and over again and expect different results. And that was exactly what I was doing. So I decided to do something different. First, I stopped going to the public school and I started learning English independently on my own. Back then, there was no internet, there was no Google, so my only resources were the public library, English publications, American Friends, the PBS TV channel, and there are many educational programs like the Reading Rainbow. I was very disciplined. I remember waking up at 4 in the morning to learn new vocabulary words and to practice my phonics. I also had a schedule that I followed to the dot. So 3 months down the road, I realized I was able to speak and pronounce all of my words correctly. My ears were tuned to the language and I was able to understand other people. And my English grammar was excellent. I was able to form complete sentences and phrases. I even started having dreams in English, which was very surprising to me. So I said to myself, I had to take a leap of faith and start looking for other jobs. I was terrified to try it, even though I knew I had mastered what I call the English language necessary or basic foundation. But I did it. I jumped and started looking for jobs in the classifieds section of the newspaper. No internet. I remember circling 3 potential ones in which a bilingual skill was needed. So then I asked my husband to drive me downtown Nashville near the West End Avenue to apply for a job. As to what he told me, if I was crazy, because the job that I was looking for, that I was applying for, was of a bilingual telephone operator. So I went to the interview very nervously, but when the interview was over, I was offered the job on the spot, and I was in total disbelief. As I came out of the conference room, the first person I see is my husband with a puzzled face asking me, how did it go? So with the biggest smile ever, I said, I got the job, and they are going to pay me $10 an hour, which back then it was $4 more than I was actually earning as a housekeeper. It was just amazing. Many people have asked me what I did to learn in just 3 months. And first, I had a goal, and my mind was so busy learning that I didn't realize I was creating in the process a new method of learning English as a second language. I started thinking about and what did I do to accelerate my own learning, and I realized that several components make me learn quickly, and that my brain in a very methodical way began to organize and classify the new language that I was learning. Unintentionally, I was using my knowledge in brain neurology, time management techniques, adult learning psychology, and the correct information from reliable sources to put together a super effective and accelerated method to learn English as a second language. All this along with 3 essential components which I believe are the most important, because without them, not even the best method in the world will work. And they are discipline, perseverance, and the desire to obtain different results. All that led me to learn English in a very efficient way with very impressive results, because that was what I wanted to achieve, different results. And to achieve different results, you must do something different. No method is fully tested until you decide to try it with other people and through studies to verify that it is what you're claiming to be. Because if it worked with me and I'm not Einstein, then it can work with anyone else in theory. So I started the research process and I started teaching other people English as a second language with my method. And surprisingly, it worked the same way it did with me. The students mastered the curriculum in 3 or 4 months. It was not only the method, it was also how they carefully followed all of my instructions and how committed they were to their goals. The results were that in record time, they had already acquired the mastery of what I call the basics of the language. Their speech and understanding were improved, in addition to losing the fear of expressing themselves in English, and finally assimilating themselves and adapting to the new culture and country that had welcomed them. This is how the Lingo method was born, and since 1997, thousands of students all around the world have learned to speak English with my method, with Lingo. My story is no different than yours. All immigrants who come to the United States know too well that if you don't know how to speak English, the process of assimilation can be very harsh and very painful. Like you, I did encounter many obstacles. I worked jobs I didn't want to do with long hours and little pay, living from paycheck to paycheck. It was only until I made the decision to face my ego and sending him far away to climb the highest mountain, only when I decided not to be a victim of my own circumstances, only when I decided to get rid of thoughts of greatness, like I didn't come here to do this, or I was a professional in my country, or I was this or I was that in my country, was when I managed to understand that without humility, perseverance, and discipline, I wasn't going to achieve any of my dreams. So then I understood that washing toilets or dishes in a restaurant or cleaning hotel rooms or working in a factory line was building my own character and teaching me the most important lesson I had to learn. And it is that work dignifies men. That I'm no better than you just because I went to college. And that powerful lesson taught me to respect and admire the entire immigrant work class with or without college education. But also taught me that the only thing that was going to make a difference in my life was to take a chance and dare to do something different in order to get different results, and to challenge my own mental status quo and accept and see my circumstances for what they were, and an opportunity to grow. And that, my friend, requires tenacity, courage, desire to do it, and to follow a plan. If I did it, you can do it too. You already have the tenacity that all immigrants have. Discover it and use it. Don't think about it anymore, and take the first step. Call today and sign up for the most effective English classes in your area. I assure you, you will do it, and it will be the best investment you will make. You will not regret it, and I guarantee you that.